This video is more about a question and a suspicion of something more than actually providing knowledge or giving information. I am down on the banks of the river. The river is basically just past these blackberry bushes right here, right down in there. And as you see along many riverbanks in the area, I'm in the middle of a tall cottonwood grove. Beautiful trees, probably about 100, maybe a little bit more than 100 feet tall. Beautiful, beautiful grove of cottonwoods. And down here on the ground, we have all of these branches that broke off during winter storms. So these are all cottonwood branches. I made a video 1 or 2 weeks ago where I was harvesting the leaf buds off of cottonwood branches, which I have done here. I have a bunch in this little water bottle that I cut the top off of. And when I posted that previous video, my friend Janelle asked the question, is this going to hurt the trees if we harvest the buds, the leaf buds off the trees? Will the tree then be defoliated during the growing season and won't have leaves to create chlorophyll and to feed nutrients into the rest of the tree? During that video, I was indeed harvesting off of live trees. When I do that, I try to be careful to only take a few buds and not strip an entire branch, and I try to be selective about it. But really, what this is showing is a preferable harvesting method. These are branches that fell off during winter storms, high wind events. The branches fall from the tall trees above, land here, and as long as the weather stays cool and somewhat moist, those leaf buds stay nice and green and tender, and they don't get dried or rotten. And in fact, the resin that is still in the branches will continue to feed into those leaf buds. So, okay, so now this is information that I've been giving, but I'm kind of laying I'm giving a preface for what I am pondering. What I'm pondering is, last time I was down in this area with my family and we were just walking around, but I was looking at the cottonwoods again, and I was noticing how brittle the branches are. And it's very common to find falls like this after winter storm events, more so than many other species of trees. Why is cottonwood so brittle? Is that part of its function in the ecosystem? Here's one of my suspicions, is that because cottonwoods are generally a riparian zone plant, meaning that they grow near bodies of water, they grow along stream banks, river banks, etc. I believe that the fragility of cottonwood may be part of how it propagates. A very fragile wood like this that breaks off easily and falls into areas of wet soil is likely going to be a plant that will root, where some of these branches may have actually driven into the ground. And if they have good ground contact with moist soil, then that will start to grow a new tree at that spot as those branches put down root. Now, these particular branches I'm looking at, it doesn't look like any of them have really good contact. None of them drove down into the soil. So these ones, I think, will probably just die. But it still begs a question. Here we have a riparian zone plant, and it is known for its fragility. As I've been reading up on cottonwood, part of the description of it is it's notable how easily the branches on cottonwood trees break and how commonly falls like this are found in cottonwood groves. So I suspect that that is part of how the tree propagates, is by branches that easily break off, fall down to wet earth, set root, and a new tree then propagates in that spot. So now, here's my other thought, is when we look and we see how these branches have these leaf buds that are still intact, just like you're seeing there. It takes energy from the plant to create leaves and to create flowers. When a plant is trying to root, trying to create new roots, many times it does not help the plant to put priority into developing leaves and flowers. So I am wondering if by harvesting the leaf buds off of these downed branches, if we're actually imitating the natural process where a lot of trees, if you were to dig up a tree and transplant it in the middle of summer, the tree would normally drop its own leaves. It would drop its own leaves, then it would send all of its energy priority into creating new roots. After the roots have formed, it would then make new leaves. So I'm wondering if, by harvesting these leaves, these leaf buds, if we're just simply mimicking that same process where the plant would normally have to drop its leaves, we are circumventing the need, or basically shortcutting the need for the plant to do that on its own, and for the plant to prioritize leaf drop. So it could be that this natural system of harvest might be assisting cottonwood in root set. If we did not harvest the buds off of these downed branches, then these branches, which are still alive, would have to prioritize basically creating a scale at the bottom of each leaf bud, causing those leaf buds to drop, and then setting down roots into the ground. I've removed the leaf buds off of most of these branches already, so if any of these branches do have good contact with the ground, they no longer have to put energy into creating a leaf drop event, and they can set their priority simply on creating roots. So I suspect that this might be an example of humans harvesting natural resources, and that the system of harvesting that has been developed through traditional societies and through traditional knowledge actually coincides, or it actually assists with the plant in flourishing within an ecosystem. That's my thought. I really don't know if this is how it's working or not, but these are my ponderings. I thought that it was worth putting on video, so there it is.